to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa and I vlog primarily about my life in Brisbane, Australia, and also about my travels. I hope you enjoyed the clips that I showed you of my time in Kuching. I was in Kuching for just over 24 hours. I arrived at 12 p.m. on a Wednesday and then I flew out at 6 p.m. the following day. I was in Kuching to see my mother's side of the family, her siblings and their spouses, and also my brother and his partner. I was really pleased to be able to see almost all of them. We had dinner at the Toh Yuen restaurant at the Hilton at my brother's recommendation. It was quite a good dinner there, a Chinese restaurant, a little bit expensive, but I hardly ever get to see that side of the family, so it was fine. I was happy to spend that money for us to have a good meal and to be comfortable. So Kuching is the capital of Sarawak. It's quite a busy city and has more traffic jams than you would expect for a city of that size. So even getting to the hotel, I stayed at the Pullman Kuching, even getting to the hotel from the airport, there was a bit of a jam on top of the hill. One of the areas the taxi driver said was because of school pickup and drop-off times. He said there were 4 schools in the same area. I stayed at the Pullman Kuching. It's quite a large hotel and part of the Accor group, which is how I found them. I was staying at a couple of the Accor group. Location is, in general, I wouldn't say it's amazing for people who want to be near shops or restaurants, for example. There is a bit of a walk downhill. I was fine with it because I was only going to the Hilton, which is almost across the street from the Pullman. And even then, the traffic light crossing, one of the lights for pedestrians was out of order, and that intersection was quite busy, so it was actually a bit dangerous. So on the way back, my brother actually dropped me off. I think I've mentioned this before in my previous Malaysia trip videos, that the country isn't really set up for pedestrians. It very much favors drivers. So coming from Australia, where I walk almost everywhere, is just something to be mindful of, that for example traffic lights might not always be working and that roads can be very busy and it's not always the safest option. So the Pullman was fine. It wasn't my favorite hotel of my stay in Malaysia. My friend's husband actually recommended the Rani, a boutique hotel. He said it was a better location and closer to the tourist attractions, closer to where the shops are. So I've noted that for future stays. Service was pretty good, like people were very helpful. The room that I had, my only issue with that room is that it never seemed to get cool enough. So that was a bit frustrating, especially as I had arrived in the afternoon, and while there had been no guests in that room, it had heated up quite a bit. So it didn't really cool down at all, even though I kept pressing the the button on the aircon control pad to try and bring the temperature down. It was only that night after I came back to the hotel from dinner that it cooled down enough that I was comfortable, and I mentioned it to the staff on my way out, and I don't know, he said that they would send an engineer to look at the room, but I think it might be a strategy by the hotel to reduce the power consumption by sort of fixing the temperature of the rooms at sort of mid-20s, mid to high 20s. It actually felt more like low 30s. Yes. And then also the bathroom in the hotel room was slippery. It was the most slippery of the hotel rooms that I stayed in during this trip, and actually the most slippery of any hotel room I've stayed in ever. So I almost fell. So that was a little dangerous. I'm not sure if there was if it is the type of tile that they use in the bathroom, or perhaps some cleaning fluid, the cleaning solution that it had used had not been properly diluted or something. But yeah, that was a little bit scary. I had lunch and breakfast at the hotel. My room rate had breakfast included, and I was actually meeting a friend for laksa for breakfast as well, so I didn't eat too much at the hotel breakfast. I just wanted to try it. It was okay. Overall, I think my time in Kuching was okay. Like, the hotel was okay, like dinner was fine. I was more focusing on having chats with people instead of the food. From the reviews I read, Toh Yuen is considered an expensive, and my brother also did say that Toh Yuen is quite expensive. And yeah, I don't know that I have plans to spend a lot of time in Kuching in the future, so I can't say that next time I'll be trying out other restaurants. And we left the hotel just before noon because my brother was dropping me off at the airport the following day, and we were going to have lunch together. So we had lunch at Sushi Zanmai, and that was okay. It was fine. I had a soup noodle dish, which was larger than I was expecting. And then he dropped me off to the airport. So yeah, I much prefer to be early because you never know with traffic jams just when and in which section of your journey. And we did actually at that time come across a bit of a snarl, and my brother took an alternative route. So Kuching, I think, is worth a visit as a tourist, being that it's the capital of Sarawak. Although for me, if not for family, I probably wouldn't have too much reason to visit. There are things to do there, such as going to the museum, walking on the waterfront. There is a bit of history there to learn. I'm not sure that I would choose to stay at the Pullman Kuching again. I think I would like to stay somewhere that was a little closer to the shops, maybe even connected to the shops if there is a hotel like that in Kuching. But yeah, as I said, I'm not sure that I would be spending too much time there. Although I hope to see my mother's side of the family again, and of course to spend time with my brother and his partner. What about you? What do you look for if you are looking at hotels or places to stay during your travels? Are you primarily concerned with location, with price, with amenities? So at the Pullman Kuching, they also had a little cafe area which served drinks and pastries. So I did grab a drink and some cake from that cafe. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!